Shalom, I'm going to give all praises to Yahweh and Ba'ashim Yahushai, Ba'ashim Chakodash, the most of the apostles and elders at Great Millstone, who will peace, blessing, and citation to the elect that's pushing his word throughout the four corners of the earth, doing this thing, truth and sincerity. And, the spirit of prophecy is going out, and pretty much daily you can see you can actually see the prophecies being unveiled, revealed right now. All right. So, and if you're paying attention, you're lining them up with with how it is. It would be in the end times. You have protests in these different countries, and the citizens, if you will, then the average person in that country, is upset for some kind of reason, upset at the government, whether it be injustice or whatever the case may be. And I have a couple articles. One that says France protests 1 year on, Yellow Vest movement loses steam. It says a year ago, Yellow Vest protesters took to Paris streets over inequality, demanding President Macron step down. And I did videos or reposted videos of the Yellow Vest protests. And 1 year. A 1 year long protest is nothing to wink at or nothing to poo poo, because it could always lead into bigger. So like man, it could always lead into something else, or so like it could always lead into something else, something bigger, something a false flag. The government could set something up where it could blame it on the citizens, like America likes to do. We know NATO, EU, and NATO really runs the whole shebang under America, technically. So it's very interesting to see these things go on, and it's exciting. Every time the brother, I think he's live right now, the brother from UK, the United Kingdom camp, he always goes live talking about prophecy. That's one thing he gets into a lot. And that's right up in his. That's actually in his area. France is close to England. It says here, France yellow vest demonstrators have occupied a top Paris department store a day after protesters marking in a year since the movement began. It started over a protest about high fuel prices, but evolved into border social movement over income inequality and President Emmanuel Macron's leadership. While many of and Macron he's a ass kisser of Slovakia. He's an ass kisser of Donald Trump. You always see him kissing up to Donald Trump. So he's down with the quote unquote establishment, if you will. And it's not going to be that long. Just a few articles. No, that was it on that. And there's one here that's pretty huge. This is from France 24, and that's actually a good France 24. That's a good it's a good source of news. It has a YouTube channel as well. It says surge in surge in petrol prices triggers protests in Iran. Iran unrest. See that they linked their YouTube video. You know, and really the best thing is just subscribe. Hit there like the little bell icon where you hey it pops up every time they post something. You click. This is one civilian was killed and and other people injured. It says in Iran's Sirjan that the official news agency ISNA said Saturday, a day after protests in the central city over a petrol price hike. So petrol hike, their petrol, their gas, or their fuel, as we use for cars. And Iran's supposed to be huge on petrol, huge on oil. The Middle East as a period, as a whole is a big on oil and that source of resource and income. So um, you know, them hiking the prices, people get pissed off and they take to the streets. There's a lot of things in America where people should take. Let's see if they got second editors on this one. I don't think they do, because I want to get sedition amongst men. Because it says someone got killed. Oh, here it is, the apocrypha. You know, so um, let's see. Come on now. Oh, maybe. Oh, there it is. Was it 16? There's a lot of things in America that fires kindled. I'm just going to hear something this real quick. Yeah, kind of. There's a lot of things in America, man, that the people should be pissed off about, but they don't. They're here. They're cuddled and coddled here. They're they basically have it. They basically have it good. You know, they're not. They don't have it totally good, but they had a way. They have it way. At their fingertips if they have the amount of money and resources like certain the better off Americans do. You can get things better. You can live more comfortably. I can't find where it says sedition amongst men. Is that chapter 15? Slovakia. Because why are people dying during this? Behold, why are people dying during these protests? This is I found it. This is Second Ezra 15 and 16. It says I'm starting at 15. For the sword and their destruction draw nigh, and one people shall stand up and fight against another, and swords in their hands. Because technically, the demonstrators and then the people who are trying to keep peace, which is could be the army or the soldiers on the ground, if you will. They're still people, so they're fighting against each other with swords in their hands. The swords, they have you have the ones that are armed. Okay, they have batons, they have shields, and then you have the people which they might have sticks and rocks to throw at them. They might have trash cans on fire, Molotov cocktails. All different types of weapons. It was sword as a metaphor because we're equating this now to today and age now. Prophecy. Things are going on now. Okay. You know, these scriptures are a book, books of prophecy, you know, for those who are that have the eyes to see and ears to hear, so to speak, like the scriptures say, man, you know, or spiritual. It says, verse 16, for there shall be sedition amongst men, and invading one another, they shall not regard their kings nor princes, and their course of their actions shall stand in their power. And I mean, I always quote the movie, but never did a video on it. Some older brothers might know. What's that movie? Escape from New York with Plissken, man. That guy with one eye with the eye patch. He's supposed to be like a badass in the movie, man. And actually, I think they put a microchip in him in that movie. You see, they put a microchip. So hey, that was a spiritual movie in a whole as a whole. You know, and when you could see that that whole movie played out of this verse in particular. If I can find the scene and remember, I want to do a video, Lord willing, man, because that's a pretty much uh, played out verse of how it's going to be, how you're going to have people in office such as your your town's mayor, the governor. Okay, people of this system are going to be basically on the same category or on the same level as a regular person, a regular, Joe Schmo. So and and they're gonna have that person in their hands, whether they kill them, whether they don't. Whether they kill them, whether they don't, it's totally up to them. Certain instances, you're not all these devils. They might have some places to hide. They got resources and money, and some of them can just hide until the missiles come or till the elect comes. They get taken out, but some of them gonna be caught out there. like them Chicago's niggas say, hey, duck your taco. Jake, Jake, what's that? And that's I'm gonna get this read a little bit and then I'm gonna end it. Spirit of prophecy, because we're in a spirit prophecy, man. This is the spirit that we're in. In the book of Revelation, if I'm not mistaken. Jesus. I'm just gonna put Jesus, spirit of prophecy. So like I didn't have this really planned out. Excuse me. This is Revelation 19:10, and it reads, "And I fell at his feet to worship him, and he said unto me, See thou do it not. I I am thy fellow servant and of thy brethren that have the testimony of Yahweh Shai. Yahweh Shai, or worship Yahweh Shai for the worship the Most High. So I get the Most High Yahweh. It says for the testimony of Yahweh Shai Mashiach is a spirit of prophecy, and not this. If that's how you know, not to go off subject, but that's not the spirit. The spirit of Jesus, according to Christians, ain't no prophecy. You know, the spirit of Jesus for them is foolishness. It's ignorance. Ignorant. This is I'll read a little bit. It says, unfortunately, someone was killed. Surgeon acting over Governor Mohammed Mahudin something. Said in the report, adding that that the cause of death and whether the individual was shot or not was still unclear. Other people were injured during the demonstrations, he said. It says that name I can't pronounce. It says emphasized that security forces did not have permission to shoot or were only allowed to fire warning shots, which they did. He said it was a calm gathering that was exploited by some who destroy public property, damage fuel stations, and also wanted to access the oil company's main fuel depots and set fire to them. So yeah, they get pretty pissed off. You know, these heathens do get pissed off. You know, when things start going wayward, start turning left, they do turn up. You know, especially Ishmael. He's a wild man. You know, he's heard of the power. He's a wild man. This is what the scriptures say. You know, it says their effort was thwarted by forces included the police and Revolutionary Guards and the Bash militia. ISNA quoted him as saying Iran imposed petrol rationings and raised pump prices by at least 50% on Friday, saying the move was to aim at helping citizens in need with cash outs. The measure was expected to bring in 300 trillion reals per annum ahead of the country's planning and budget organizations. Mohammed said on state television. So basically running down how much it really is going to cost them. Shit, says hurricane. I mean, a damn earthquake in Iran too. But nonetheless, man, yeah, the spirit that is ramping up across the world. You know, it's a time that that we see that and we got to report on it. We get juiced up through the spirit because this is what we love. We love to see. And I was about to say, yeah, I mean, that's pretty much all I had. But that's all I had. But with Lord willing, it was edifying. All praises to Yahweh by Shem El Shai, by Hashem Rakal Kadash, double honors to the apostles and elders at Great Millstone who well. Peace, blessing, citation to the elect. Shalom.